Welcome to the first episode of Cats Playing League of Legends. I'm Ike. Hi. I live in Alaska. Just want to start making some videos. This is a ranked game I played a few days ago. I'm going to be on this Tarek. I'm only in Silver 1, so some of you guys might be saying, well, why are we supposed to care? Well, these videos are intended to show you what teams do well and what teams do poorly in this level of play, and hopefully give you some insight on what you can do better in your next game if you're at this level of play, and maybe even if you're above it or below it. I'm going to go ahead and hit play here on the replay. We've got myself, a vitriolic cat here on Tarek. What is that guy's name even? Adgata on the Debonair Jace, G-Dog Furry on Twisted Fate, Spiral Saint on this Hecarim here, and of course Trash Mix on Caitlyn, because that's what everyone likes to see when they're supporting a lane. And if we talk about starting items, I about died here when this Caitlyn started Doran's Blade against an Ezreal. This Twisted Fate is not a very nice person. I do believe I ignored him right here, so I don't know, he might say more stuff later on in the game that we'll see in this replay, but I hope not. So, starting items. We've got Jace with the Fairy Charm Ward pot start, basically copying me. That's cool. And then we've got, of course, this Twisted Fate with Boots Pots, which I would disagree with if Malzahar didn't start Doran's Ring. Ezreal, of course, is going to have much more sustain than Caitlyn, because he's got this Longsword double health potion, whereas Caitlyn started Doran's Blade. Xin Zhao is starting with this Fort Pot, which we saw a lot in LCS, so someone's been paying attention. And the enemy Leona starts with a Rejuve Bead, 3 pots, and double health potion. Double health potion, 3 wards, excuse me. So, it's going to be pretty even here. And, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I'm not focusing on my gameplay or even my own team's gameplay. I don't intend to stream or to upload only videos where my team wins or only videos where my team stomps. I don't remember how this one went because I played it a few days ago, so we'll all find out together. But I just want to focus on everyone's gameplay because it's so rare that everyone takes the time to look back here. Looks like this Twisted Fate is going to have a pretty easy time in his lane. Bottom lane, maybe not so much. Leona tried to get that ward there with auto attack into canceling it into Q, but didn't quite work out. And I'm not too worried about level 2 Olaf ganks. It's not super rare, so I don't put a ward in the bush here. But as you can see, Caitlyn is mostly just sitting back, which is okay. Doran's Blade start, I'd hope she'd be a little more aggressive and maybe eat a few less Qs into the face. Since she has no sustain, she kind of is depending on that early health and damage advantage to win this lane. Or she's going to have to go back really early and lose any sort of advantage. Leona's going to miss that, thank goodness. And we're going to do some considerable damage to her, but Caitlyn's going to flash out, take another Q to the face, and yeah. We actually managed to come out ahead on that trade. I can see Leona there, of course, with the ward. Oh, and then I flash, and Caitlyn has no follow-through, and Olaf comes in, so I'm going to die. There's no way I could have survived that. Caitlyn was just ready to just go back to hitting creeps there, and I was trying to make a play. I don't do it anymore after that because I realize that she's just not going to follow through with any type of play I try to make. And for some reason, she dies for free. This is why I really don't like the Doran's Blade start. If she had had some health potions, she could have stayed in lane much more safely and probably at least killed that Ezreal there. And you can start a longsword double health potion like Ezreal did, and you do have a little bit of sustain. Jace is going to trade a few hits up here with Xin. As you can see, Zinzao's not really having much of a fun time. The farm's pretty even. He's waiting to pop his fort pot probably until Jace goes in to dive. I don't remember if he does, but I really hope this Jace doesn't try to dive this Fortitude Potion. Zinzao here. This is a pretty interesting lane. I'll have to keep coming up here and checking, but it's really rare for me, at least, to see Jace players actually play Jace well and keep up in farm. I see a lot more people pick Jace and feed because I think that he's going to be strong and they end up failing. So I was pleasantly surprised in this game that our Jace is keeping up in farm and trading pretty evenly with this Xin Zhao, even though his starting items kind of weirded me out. Let's go back to this lane. Oh, excuse me. As you can see here, I don't know what that recall noise was all about, but they've got a straight up level advantage here. And that is all good. Let's see how far ahead they are. See, this Ezreal has 800 gold on this Caitlyn right now. I don't know why every time I'm down here I hear that recall noise. I think Leona is pushing it and it's bugging out the replay. But that is really too bad. Though right now, if you look at the items, Leona's not very worried about ganks, which I guess is fair. But we do have a Hecarim. She doesn't have... Ezreal actually puts that ward down. Excuse me. Oh, I'm really tired, so... But I've been meaning to make this video for a while, and... here I am. So... Caitlyn's gonna get some right clicks in on that Ezreal. She's got boots and some potions, and as you can see, we see this Olaf too. And then Leona's gonna get that with a much better success than she tried earlier. I don't know why this Caitlyn is getting so close. She should really just be right-clicking from maximum range. And I'm gonna die here. Oh. Surprisingly enough, I managed not to die. Hecarim wants to make a play here. But I actually go home. So he's not sure he'll be able to, and then Ezreal just gets away. I feel like this lane could have gone really well for us, but it ended up not. As you can see, even though we get this counter gank from Hecarim, and then of course the Twisted Fate ulti as well, the lane is still going really poorly for us. Hecarim getting that double kill is great. It's fantastic. Hecarim can really do a lot with the gold there. When he gets ahead, when Hecarim gets ahead, it's really scary for the other team. And Twisted Fate pushes the lane up, which is good because we're not there to do it. This is going to reset the lane, and there's no one here to get this experience. So all these creeps that die are just a big waste of experience. So it's good that Twisted Fate did that. Normally, when someone comes into gank, if they push your lane up and you're still there, it's pretty bad. They shouldn't do that. People try to talk about gank tax and this and that, and I think it's silly. The whole point of ganking is to put the lane that you're ganking for ahead. So if, let's say Twisted Fate went down bottom and Caitlyn had survived, and then he had taken all the last hits and pushed the lane up to the tower, he's actually just stealing advantage from Caitlyn. She could have gotten all that farm and all that solo experience, and it would have helped her catch up in that particular example. When he did it there, it was fine though, but for the most part, gank tax, pretty not cool. Unless you're in a normal, I guess, whatever you want to do. Malzahar's going to get blue buff here, which I don't think is going to do much for his lane. He's just going for the cages, he just wants to farm. TF is of course out farming him because his clear is much faster. And it's a little less random. Malzahar, excuse me. Malzahar can miss his wave clear just if he gets a cannon creep too early. As you can see, he's got to drop another one. And Twisted Fate doesn't have that problem at all. He can just throw it right at the creep wave right as it walks up, throw his wild cards, and get the whole creep wave, pretty much. He doesn't have enough AP yet to do that, but that's okay. And it looks like we're going to get Dove here, but Leona just wants to put a ward in that bush, so Hecarim can't counter gank or counter a tower dive again. This is pretty much the scariest part of this lane for me, because that's really where Hecarim wants to be, to counter gank, to counter a tower dive, and we basically have no way to stop them from diving. I can only stun one of them, and Caitlyn's gonna get hit by that Ezreal ultimate. I feel like this Caitlyn really just didn't know how to play the Caitlyn Taric lane. There were no stun trap combos. I didn't even bother putting any points in Dazzle to make it easier because she didn't even try. I believe in this game actually I opted to get a few extra levels into my heal just to help Caitlyn stay and farm because she was so late in getting her sustain and she didn't bring very much regen to the lane, so I thought that'd be a pretty good idea. And of course I don't use my Shatter very offensively in this lane either, just to prevent us from losing every trade. It looks like Twisted Fate is going to go here and catch that Xin Zhao, which is pretty good, 262 gold for him. I don't think that Jace got the assist, but as you can see, he's doing quite well in this lane. He's 18 farm up, 1-0 and 1. So I guess he did get an assist for that because Xin Zhao just died. But pushing this tower, and Jace is really, really good at taking towers quickly with that W, and he can push the creep wave very easily with his Q in cannon form, so not surprising at all. It's great to have a good Jace on your team that can just go top and win their lane and really just take advantage of the fact that he's such a strong character. Of course, we're still down here on our tower. This is where we were for the most of the early laning phase into an extended laning phase, if I recall correctly. I think Leona and Ezreal tried to extend the laning phase here because they were winning so hard. As you can see, Ezreal is 81 farm to Caitlyn's 57, so he's definitely doing better here. Malzahar really wants to catch this Twisted Fate, but instead he's going to find a Hecarim. Which is not good for him. And then, of course, Xin Zhao's down here, which is one of the problems. Of course, I came up here, and Caitlyn didn't follow, so she ends up being useless, and I'm just going to die. That was all 5 of the enemy team, and it's really too bad that Caitlyn didn't come with me, because we might have been able to pick up a kill on someone instead of just falling over dead. And now, of course, this team here is going to go for the dragon, which they totally deserve. They definitely won that fight there, which was really too bad because the other lanes were winning, and that, as you can see, that evened out a lot of the gold disadvantage that they had, and then especially this dragon is definitely going to even it out even more, which is really just too bad. As you can see, now they've gotten a little bit ahead of us. I actually think the only reason we're keeping up is probably because my page is all gold per 10 on my support, and that's going to keep us ticking a little faster than them in the passive gold gain department. But aside from that, it's a close game. I'm going to pick up a sights down here and some more wards. Something important I like to talk about when I talk about supports. I'll probably mention it every game I see. As you can see, Leona bought a Ruby Sightstone and didn't buy any wards. At this point in the game, with a game in flux like this, it's really nice to be able to set aggressive wards and to be able to set some really nice defensive wards. Leona could drop a ward, you know, here, or a ward here, and see Hecarim or Twisted Fate moving around in the jungle, and she'd be able to pick them off, or her team would be able to pick them off with that vision, and they'd be able to like push their advantage a little more, get some towers. And as you can see, we've already brought our advantage back by farming. Their team is not farming as effectively as we are, and that's something you see a lot of, especially at Silver 1, and in Silver in general. You see a lot of really poor farming habits. People get ahead and they stop prioritizing farm. Obviously, Ezreal's still doing fine, but TF is getting further and further ahead of Malzahar. He's reached the point now where he can one-shot creep waves, or at least the caster creeps, with this needlessly large rod. So he's just going to keep getting ahead, further and further ahead of this Malzahar. And Jace taking the blue, and this is going to be a gank on Olaf. He's just going to ult, which is really too bad, because it was a great gank. TF a little unlucky here with this red card. But Hecarim's going to get out. And of course, bottom. Meanwhile, we got Dove, and I didn't die, but Caitlyn definitely died. But the fight bottom lane went really well, and that's just an instance of Twisted Fate using his ultimate very well. Jace gonna jump out of that bush and blow that Malzahar up. He kind of deserved it. Malzahar's a jerk. Yeah, Jace is just gonna push this. They're gonna get this tower for free. There's no way I can stop them. Hecarim's gonna try and come down, but I can't get a setup for him to come down there, so we're just gonna try and push this up as much as we can. Now, of course, I'm going to probably want to be buying more wards. I think I actually end up selling my Sightstone in this game to open up space for more small items. That's something people really underestimate, is the strength that you can get just from buying a bunch of smaller items, even if you can't build them into anything. That can be incredibly useful to have, you know, a health crystal or ruby crystal or a cloth armor. If you're really far behind, it can just keep you up a little bit longer and let you have just a little bit more effect on the game. TF here gonna get a blue card instead of gold card for some reason, and then gonna flash out. But he's pretty low. He wants to help here, but it's just not gonna happen. Which is too bad, because if he could have gotten a nice Q in there, that would have been pretty easy for him. I really want this Twisted Fate to stay. At this point I'm telling him, oh, I'll heal you, but he doesn't want to stay. And that's alright, that's his choice. Jace is just kind of pushing top, and it would be really nice if he could rotate bottom, or mid, and he's coming in now to do that. Gonna dodge everything. He ends up caught out in the middle of the enemy team, which is really too bad. We can't do much to help him there. He just came in from a poor angle. If he had come in here from the river, we would have been in much better position to help him. But I don't think he really realized that this tower was dead and that we were so far back because of it. In this scenario, we can't do much aside from just try and stop them from pushing in on us. They're only 3 kills up. The gold is actually pretty even, but they're definitely pushing a lot harder than we are. Which is too bad. We have a lot of very good pushers. Twisted Fate and Jace, amazing at pushing down towers and pushing creep waves. And we really want to counter push this here, because the enemy team is going to want to spend their gold. And so we want to counter push this while we've all gone back and gotten a chance to buy items and get full health and mana, and they haven't. So, but again, Malzahar is just gonna shut that attempt down. One Malefic Vision is really all he needs. TF playing really aggressively, trying to get a blue card on someone. Don't know why he doesn't just hit a creep or go into the jungle and get some mana back, hit a wraith, whatever. But he doesn't, and that's okay. That's his choice. Jace here already has his Manamune and his Brutalizer Vamp Scepter. That's awesome. I really don't like Caitlyn's build here. She goes straight for the Bloodthirster, not even any boots too. And as you can see, we've already got a Giant's Belt on Xin Zhao, Spirit of the Ancient Golem on Olaf. We've got a Ruby Sightstone on Leona. So a Blade of the Ruined King would have been much more useful. They're gonna dive this really hard. Jace just gonna get insta-gibbed. Twisted Fate's got a really good card there that hit everyone, and he tries to stun that Olaf, get some damage on him. But it looks like Malzahar's gonna catch him, but he's got his Zhonya's, so Zhonya's too strong here. Hecarim really wants this Olaf, but decides he would rather go for Mal's. Because I guess Mal's really is not as well equipped to escape from Hecarim. But all in all, the fight went okay for us. We traded 1 for 2. So it's not too bad. Not great because we're still behind, but as you can see, the gold graph has stayed really close together. We're managing to keep it really close, which is a really good thing for this game. Let's see here, I do buy another ruby crystal, boots, and this is where I'm going to sell the sightstone and buy some more wards and a null magic mantle, because I decided it was more useful for me to have the more defensive stats and a little more health than to have those free wards. And as you can see over here, Leona, she just has the ruby sightstone still, so she can only put down 3 wards at a time. And though I only have 3 wards, I will be able to go back and buy more and put more down, which will be really useful in this game, as we are a little bit behind. We just warded that bush at the same time, which is really funny. I didn't actually notice that while I was playing this game. Excuse me. Malzahar here, or Ezreal here, just gonna ult the creep wave to get some farm. And he has been buying wards. I guess he's unhappy with the amount of wards that this Leona has been dropping. So he's been buying wards, and now I'm being told to drop wards, and this is where I say, hey man, look at the map. I've been doing my best, but it's really unsafe for me to just wander around and drop wards at this point in the game. But I don't know why he said that in all chat, but some people are rude like that. But let's take a minute, it's about 20 minutes, and see, oh, Hecarim. I don't think we managed to turn this into anything, but that was just a really poor initiate on his part. None of us were there. None of us were there. Just nobody was there to back him up, and then when we tried, we just immediately died, because it was 3v5. And again, this Caitlyn would be doing a lot more damage if she had gone for something other than a Bloodthirster. They've got a lot of health, and so her Bloodthirster's nice, but it's not really that great. If she had a Blade of the Ruined King, however, she would be doing a lot more damage. And she would be much better equipped. And then, of course, Hecarim with his ridiculous home guard boots going 100 miles an hour. And at this point, it looks like we're going to be able to turn some of this around. Jace going to grab a kill there, and then Twisted Fate going to pick up the kill on Xin Zhao. And I'm going to flash stun this Olaf because I know his ult is down. And Twisted Fate is going to not follow through hard enough for us to get a kill there. But that's alright. I used my flash on it, but we will probably be able to counter push this tower. If we can push the creeps up in time. Because by the time the rest of the team gets there, if Caitlyn goes with us, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Twisted Fate wants to pick up some farm bottom, I think. Excuse me. And then Caitlyn decides she wants it, and so he hands it off to her because she really needs it. TF picking up a Void Staff. I think I would have preferred a Death Cap in that slot, or a DFG, or a Lich Bane, just because they don't have any magic resist on the enemy team aside from the Aegis, and that's only 15 magic resist to nearby allies, so Void Staff isn't going to really be that useful. Not as useful as more flat damage or more flat pen. Twisted Fate, mad about something. Hecarim's going to face check that bush there, which is basically free dragon for the enemy team, which is really too bad. We need to be able to stop them from doing this more. They are slowly gaining ground on us here, where they've passed us up, and now they are definitely ahead. Twisted Fate gonna do no damage to this Leona. She's gonna drop a ward in there. She has some vision wards in her sightstone, but we're having a really hard time. Top is pushing in our favor though. Zin's gonna come ult to stop it for some reason. I don't know why he would use that, but I guess that he does reduce cooldowns with 3 Talon Strikes, so maybe that's his thought. And we're going to catch them out here at blue. Leona's going to be way inside our team, but nothing's going to happen about it because Caitlyn has no way to stop her from running. Twisted Fate wants to catch her, though, and he's going to give her a place to go. But we managed to get some stuns on her, and we pick up the kill, which is actually pretty nice for us. Leona is a big part of their initiation, and we managed to do that without using any of Hecarim's abilities, which is good. I don't know why his ult is down. He may have used it on the rest of the team while we were chasing Leona. But yeah, it's a pretty close game. It really could go to either of us, though we've only taken 1 tower on the red team here. We're very good at pushing towers. Jace is incredibly good at taking objectives. One of the things I don't like about this point in the game, if we look at Hecarim's build, Spirit of the Lizard Elder, the Elder Lizard, not bad. Basic attacks and spells that do not inflict damage over time, so his Q, Hecarim's Q, is going to go apply that to anyone he hits with it, which is awesome. But I don't know what he's going for here, but the early health is good. I do like Hecarim's build here. Caitlyn's build I've already talked about. The early Bloodthirster just isn't that much damage against a team with as much health as they have. And Ezreal's even going Glacial Shroud, so the extra attack speed from Blade of the Ruined King would be way more useful for her. And I remember telling her all through this game that she needed to make a Blade, because they've already got a Warmogs on Olaf with Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and Giant's Belt on Xin Zhao, and then the Aegis Sightstone combo on Leona is going to be a lot of health. And she'd be able to shred through it a little better. Twisted Fate's build I already talked about a little bit. He's going for health here, which I disagree with. His problem is not that he's dying too fast, it's that he just doesn't do enough damage. So if he could get a little more damage to burst people down a little harder, it'd be nice. We could shut down the Ezreal that is doing pretty well, or one-shot the Malzahar. That'd be nice too. And because Ezreal is going for the Iceborne Gauntlet, he's going to be harder to kill from our physical damage. So they're playing really aggressively for this top tower here. There's not a whole lot they can do about it. They're incredibly tanky, but it looks like Jace, Twisted Fate, and Hecarim are going to go in on this. They're actually pretty high. One could argue in that fight it was really useful that Twisted Fate had more health, but I think it would have been more useful if he had more damage. But all in all, the fight's going to go really well for them. And Twisted Fate pops his ulti, teleports in, and gets a triple kill. Meanwhile, though, Ezreal pushes his tower. And this is just a case of our team defended this top tower admirably, but they defended it too hard. They should have really been defending. They should have really been defending this mid tower. We gave them an inhibitor here for free. That's really just too bad. I do believe that this Ezreal is going to end up dying anyway. It looks pretty dire for him. There's not much he can do here. But he's still got that middle inhibitor tower here. And I was the only person there to try and stop him. That's how I died to him. So that's really unfortunate. That's going to open up a huge portion of the map for the enemy team. And at this point, I know I was upset with this Caitlyn because she has nothing. She has 154 farm. How far behind? I mean, she's 3,000 gold behind Ezreal. That's just crazy to me. And it's just another example of one of the reasons I'm hesitant to always volunteer to support in these games. I am a support main, but even if I played the best turret game of my life, which I'm obviously not, if my AD carry is playing poorly, it's just going to be the end of it. But we are equipped to handle this. Obviously, as you can see, the blue team has tons more ward coverage than we do, at least on this side of the map. They were dropping vision wards, killing a lot of my wards. I remember thinking in this game, oh my god, they've dropped so many vision wards. Hecarim grabs this Oracle because he's doing pretty well. Wants to help his team out. 3-5-11. He's very tanky. And he's also very survivable just because he's Hecarim. And I'm out of position here, of course, but it's not going to be a big deal. I'm just going to leave, heal Hecarim up a bit. Olaf is going to get this tower, and Xin Zhao. There's no way we can really contest that. But again, Ezreal with this Fortitude Potion, if Caitlyn had gone for a Blade of the Ruined King, she would be doing more damage to him. We still don't see another Warmogs out on the enemy team, but it's definitely something that's going to happen. Jace goes in here and finds all three of them, which is interesting. Xin Zhao dives onto me for some reason, which I really think was not the right choice. As you can see, I'm not the main damage dealer. And TF is going to Zhonya's there and avoid a ton of damage, and we're going to end up actually coming out ahead for that fight. Caitlyn doing a pathetic amount of damage to that Olaf, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be able to take this tower. And our team says, let's go get Baron, and I'm almost positive that it is me pinging this saying, screw Baron, we need towers more than we need Baron. You don't win the game for getting Baron. Contrary to popular belief, when you get Baron, you do not get any closer to winning the game. However, when you take towers, you do get considerably closer to winning the game. And at this point, I'm saying, no guys, you don't understand. We have Twisted Fate Caitlyn, we need to take this tower. And they say, no, let's go get Dragon. Which is not a bad choice. The enemy team is going to run to, they think we're going to run to Baron. And as you can see, I have no wards on it, which is where I'm going right now. Thankfully, because I do believe I'm gonna catch them coming to Baron, or see them coming to Baron, and it's gonna delay their Baron a little. And my team knows now that they're doing that, and so they're gonna run up here. They're just gonna sit in this bush, which I don't really understand, but I ward it, and this is where I'm saying, guys, seriously. They are doing Baron right now, and we need to stop them. Twisted Fate gets some mana back, puts his gold card on cooldown, but that's okay. I'm going to come around here because I want to get a pick, get a good stun on someone. But no one really wants to hard commit. We don't have Hecarim ulti. We don't really have anyone's ulti except Twisted Fate. So we drop Twisted Fate ulti and we can see everyone, and we just back out. But even though we are not really fighting this and it's not going very well, we are definitely going to be able to at least stop their Baron. I'm going to ulti here. Taric, one of the reasons I don't really like Taric, but it was a request from the AD carry. Taric doesn't have very much team fight presence when his team is behind. So, you know, I stun people every once in a while. But we did shut down their Baron here. And we managed to trade, not evenly, but we managed to at least pick up some kills there. Hecarim's going to come out and try and get a kill on this Xin Zhao, but his E is going to run out, I believe. Yes, his E is going to run out right before he gets there, which is just too bad because it would have been nice to have been able to pick up that Xin Zhao. It would have evened out our score a little. And then these creeps that we've been pushing up all game get us a tower. Creeps OP. So, all in all, fairly close game. 4 towers to 5 towers, 22 to 23. Incredibly close game. And now, in these matches, this is a good turning point, I think, to talk about what each team needs to do. Caitlyn here really needs to make a Blade of the Ruined King. I know I keep talking about it, but she really does. She really needs to make a Blade of the Ruined King, because we see Warmogs with another Giant's Belt on Olaf, another Ruby Crystal on Leona, Sunfire Cape, Warden's Mail on Xin Zhao, and then we've, of course, Liandry's Torment. Not a huge amount of health, but health. The only person on the enemy team that doesn't have a single health item is Ezreal. So Blade of the Ruined King really needs to get picked up here. Jace has one. I actually think at this point I comment that Jace is more of an AD carry than Caitlyn is, because he definitely is doing more damage in fights with this Muramana, Black Cleaver, and then the Blade of the Ruined King. He's definitely contributing more than Caitlyn is. And she goes for this Last Whisper, which is not a poor choice, but I wish she would have gotten a Blade of the Ruined King first. Hecarim's build is fine. I kind of wish he had a little more MR. But it's not the end of the world. They don't have... I mean, Malzahar, nah, he's doing well, but he's really not just going to burst people down. He's got his channel for a while. My build is alright. I have this Aegis, which is going to help my team, Merc Treads, Philo Stone. I think I just need to be warding more. I should have maybe delayed my Aegis a little to put up some more wards. And then Twisted Fate's build is actually pretty okay, but I wish that instead of this Void Staff, he had a Lich Bane. It would greatly increase his burst, and there's very little MR on the enemy team. They're mostly stacking armor. Additionally, we just need to group up and push. Push for objectives really hard with the team we have. We have a very good team for taking objectives. Caitlyn, Twisted Fate, Jace, all very good at killing towers. And we need to be taking advantage of that more. The enemy team is definitely winning right now, and I think what they need to do to keep winning. I don't agree with this DFG on Malzahar at all. I understand his logic there, but I think there were better options, especially on a character like Malz. It's just personal opinion, maybe. DFG it's obviously doing okay for him. He's 8-2. Ezreal is not going to be able to carry late game with this build. And if you're not sure what I mean, this build is a kind of an AD caster Ezreal, where he focuses on doing damage with his Q, which means that eventually when Caitlyn gets enough crit chance, she's going to start out DPSing him, even though she's behind. She's going to be capable of out DPSing him if she's protected properly. Ezreal's going to be a lot safer, and he's going to be able to deal his damage more consistently, but he's actually going to deal less DPS than Caitlyn, which is going to hurt their team in a straight-up fight. Xin Zhao, I don't think he has enough damage items. He's not doing very well. I would have liked to have seen a Brutalizer or a Black Cleaver on Xin Zhao. I feel like it synergizes really well with Xin Zhao's kit to get a Black Cleaver. But I do agree with Blade of the Ruined King for some of the attack speed. That's going to be nice. The attack speed and the additional lifesteal and damage is going to be great for him. Olaf has a great build here. Lots of health, lots of tankiness. That's really what he needs to dive into the middle of the team and really just wreak havoc. And of course Leona, I've talked about her Sightstone already. She has no additional wards. So the only wards she has that are additional wards are these vision wards that she's spying, which are good, definitely good, but they only have wards up on this top half of the map. It's going to be a little harder for them to make a pick. And then of course we have wards as well. And we're just going to kill these guys here. Twisted Fate just going to stand still in that fight, but at least he has that Zhonya's there. Jace's going to get focused down by Malzahar, which is really too bad. We really need to start, the red team here really needs to start focusing Malzahar before he can do that. And then of course Twisted Fate's ultimate going to give us vision, and he's not, it looks like he's not going to teleport. Oh, he is. He decides to teleport here and misses. Gets a red card there and does not get a stun. But I think we're going to not be able to pick up this. Ooh. And Caitlyn with a trap over the wall, really really hype there, but she's going to miss her Q, and it actually ends up slowing her down, and then we say, well, we've got to back up. But Caitlyn manages to get the kill on Leona, which is good. She really needs that gold. She really needs to be building up some gold here. She is actually catching up to Ezreal slowly but surely. And then that fight for me, of course, is going to get me my Runic Bulwark. My score looks much better now than it did before. I've stopped dying, gotten some assists. Jace still doing well, lots of assists. We've got a lot of we've had a lot of team fights on in this game, so it's been a lot of team fighting, and we've really managed to keep our scores. We've actually kind of managed to gain an advantage here in these team fights. We're down on towers, but we've actually pushed everything except the bot lane. What I would like to see, and I don't know if it's going to happen because I don't remember, but we really need to just push bottom, have one person go bottom and push. I don't think we have a teleport here, but they're easy towers, and so if we put someone like Twisted Fate bottom who could push, if they went for Baron, which we currently don't have vision on, but I'm going to drop it on there right now. If they went for Baron, he'd be capable of teleporting up, and we could get some of those easy towers. Twisted Fate going to get the blue buff here, which is pretty useful on him, actually. especially in the late game when you don't want to be using blue cards to get your mana back up. That's going to be useful. And then Ezreal going for, looks like a Guardian Angel here. I don't know that I agree with that. He's really not doing much damage. And now, of course, Twisted Fate finally has his Lich Bane. That's really going to help his damage. I like to see it much earlier than that on Twisted Fate. When I play Twisted Fate personally, it's actually the second item I make, just because his pick a card cooldown is so short. It's up a lot, and it increases your ability to sustain your damage by quite a bit. And Leona here going to drop a Vision Ward, and Vision Ward, my Vision Ward, which there's a lot of that going around in this game. We were very evenly matched as far as skill level goes here, and so it was a pretty fun game to play, definitely. A little frustrating because I feel like this Caitlyn is a weak link, and I'm still telling her at this point she's going for an eye edge, and I'm saying, look, it's 40 minutes, they have a ton of health, you have a Last Whisper, please get a Blade of the Ruined King. It would definitely, you'd be able to dunk this Olaf down. You'd be able to really, really help kill pretty much everyone. But Olaf going to get another kill here. But we're going to manage to take out this. We're going to manage to take out the Malzahar, and Caitlyn's just going to stand still and right-click, which I think is silly. But I managed to get a shutdown here, and then on the Olaf with Shatter and my ulti, and then Twisted Fate going to get the shutdown there, and he's going to go for blue buff. We didn't obviously have vision on that Ezreal, which is too bad. We would have been able to kill him easily if we had known he was there. And Ezreal does pick up a Guardian Angel. The reason I don't like this is that Ezreal is not built like an AD carry here. He has no attack speed. He's not going to be very useful for taking down towers unless he keeps getting up Iceborne Gauntlet procs. But he also has no crit chance. So when you compare that to someone like Caitlyn, who, even though she should have definitely gone for a Blade of the Ruined King, who is going for a Infinity Edge, she's going to outdamage him, even without the Blade of the Ruined King, especially in the late game. It's 40 minutes in. He definitely needed to be thinking about what he was going to do if the game went on this long, and I think he made the incorrect choice here. This is definitely a mid-game Ezreal build. As you can see here, he's just going to get his Guardian Angel popped by Twisted Fate here. And then he might as well have not bought it. It's a big item that isn't going to be worth anything to him for 5 minutes. And he has no real survivability otherwise, no attack speed. I guess he's got lifesteal. Hecarim finishes his Warmogs, which is good. He's really our initiator. And then I pick up a Glacial Shroud for the mana, for my passive, and also cooldowns and some armor. Of course, we see an Oracle's out on Jace, and then Twisted Fate picks up a Randuin's. And I really wish this was a DFG or a Morella Namicon or a almost anything else. I don't like Randuin's on Twisted Fate. I don't think he needs the survivability with the Zhonya's. Pretty much, basically, if Zhonya's can't save you, Randuin's probably won't save you either. And Hecarim could have made it, or I could have made it, and it would have been a better pickup. But that's alright. You know, he's doing well, 11-4-12, so I don't want to talk too much about what he's doing, because he is doing very well. But I feel like he definitely could have been doing better and contributing more damage to fights if he had gone a little more traditional build here. Especially because Ezreal's going kind of AD caster, and Xin Zhao doesn't really need to keep attacking you. He just needs to stick to you for long enough for someone like Olaf to come hit you. I think it would have been beneficial for Twisted Fate to pick up a more damage-oriented item. And Olaf, incredibly tanky. He's 8-2 and 12, 8-2 and 10, excuse me. So he's doing very well. But they're kind of misplaying this here. The enemy team is trying to push the hardest lane for them to push right now. This mid is going to be the most difficult lane for them to push because it's the furthest in our territory. And as you can see, neither team really has wards, but we have a Twisted Fate who's just going to push it back. They should really be splitting between mid and top, or just pushing top, at this point. Instead of just sitting mid, they're just shoving farm down Twisted Fate's throat, which isn't going to do much for him, aside from giving money to buy elixirs and to enchant his boots. But they're also giving our team experience, and I'm not max level yet, and I believe, yeah, I'm the only person on our team that's not max level. But they're just throwing experience and gold at us at this point, and they're not really accomplishing anything mid. Twisted Fate's going to teleport top, which I think makes this Caitlyn really mad. If I recall correctly, she gets pretty upset because she's definitely behind where he is as far as items go. And at this point, I'm begging this Caitlyn to make a Blade of the Ruined King. Practically begging her. She does a lot of damage now, but a Blade of the Ruined King would really amp her damage up a lot, give her some more attack speed, which is always nice, and just let her shred through the tanky people they have on the enemy team with these Warmogs, and then of course Leona with the Ruby Sightstone, Locket, and Runic Bulwark is just going to have quite a bit of health. She's quite tanky. But it looks like Twisted Fate is almost completely fully built. They're going to get the dragon again. We haven't been able to keep wards up. This is a one detriment to them pushing in this mid lane constantly, is that it's been very dangerous for me to come out and drop wards. It's been very dangerous, especially because my team has been back farming, trying to get their items. And this is me pinging up here into Baron, saying they're definitely going for Baron, and we definitely need to stop them. We cannot let them take this Baron for free. And I'm going to drop a ward over there. They have no oracles, and at this point they are convinced, I believe, that they can just fight us and win. So Hecarim's going to get over there, and he actually smites the Baron, which is a really good play on his part. I'm going to get ulted by Malzahar, which is kind of a waste. As I said earlier, Twisted Fate really doesn't have, or Taric doesn't have much teamfight presence, but I'm not complaining because it allows our team to really pick up this fight here, and I believe we're actually going to ace them here and go pick up that Baron. So that was a really good fight for our team. And it was just a matter of red team continued to farm, we continued to farm, we continued to try and push for objectives, like when we got these two mid towers here after winning a team fight, and we really ended up with all of our gold in the right place. That last team fight, our focus was good. Caitlyn got rid of that Malzahar very early on. Twisted Fate got rid of that Ezreal very early on, and we just steamroll right into here to win. So Zinzao can't even believe it. So thanks for watching. I know the ending there was a bit of a surprise, even to me. I played it a few days ago and didn't even remember that we won this one. But if you like my videos, please subscribe. If you don't like my videos, tell me why. I would love to know what you think of the quality, the sound quality, the gameplay quality, the audio quality, video quality, anything. Give me any sort of feedback. My email's on my channel page too if you don't want to leave a comment on the YouTube videos. But I guess I'll see you next time.